I think it really is going to be the final season, unlike Attack on Titan, who they were like, "This is the final season, part one, final season, part two, final
Oh
season,
yeah.
part three." Like they're like, it's the final season, but it's not really the final season type thing. Nerding out about anime. We're gonna go with some anime.
Okay.
This season, and it's only 6 episodes deep right now. They've been premiering the My Hero Academia final season, quote unquote final season. That's how they're advertising it, which
Okay.
I think it really is going to be the final season, unlike Attack on Titan, who they were like, this is the final season, part one, final season, part two, final
Oh
season,
yeah.
part three. Like they're like, it's the final season, but it's not really the final season type thing. But no, it's going to be 24 episodes total. They're 6 episodes deep, and the animation has been spectacular. The action has been phenomenal. They've done a really good job of evoking emotion and depth, and bringing in little twists already. And it's only 6 episodes in so far. They've really been knocking it out of the park, in my opinion. And I'm hopeful that the next 18 episodes will give a satisfying conclusion to the series as a whole. But yeah, because so last season they did a spin-off kind of prequel, but not really a prequel, for My Hero Academia. And so
Okay.
I had been missing the main story, and getting back to it and whatnot. It's been wonderful. I know you don't do a whole lot of anime, but have you heard of My Hero?
I
Or
have heard of My Hero Academia. I have seen images of it. I've probably seen clips here and there. Anime and I have a weird relationship because I really enjoy when I watch it, but I don't dive into it as much as a lot of people do. And it's no reason other than I just have so much going on and so many
yeah,
things to watch, and I just don't have time. But every time I dive into one, I really enjoy it. But I also go like, some of that is sort of the memory thing, where when I think of anime, it takes me back to hanging out at my friend's house, where this was back in the days where I would literally take my PC, I would unhook it, and I would strap it into my car and drive over to his house for the weekend, set it up. We would LAN party for the weekend. Some other friends would come over maybe one night, but I'd be there for like 2 nights, and we'd just be watching anime or Doctor Who or Star Trek or whatever we decided we wanted to watch. And this was classic Doctor Who at the time. And play video games all weekend. So like my anime goes back to that. So it was like Toonami and watching, Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, which I found recently. I haven't watched the live action Yu Yu Hakusho.
don't.
But I did start rewatching that series at some point, and it was one of those where I watched a few episodes and then got distracted by something else. But
Yeah,
I hear great things
Yu
about My Hero.
Hakusho is a good one.
I loved it.
It's one that a lot of people, it's because it's a little bit older. A lot of people who are newer to anime sleep on it. But yeah, so the live action,
Mhm.
you know, spoiler not spoiler, they try to take the first 2 seasons of Inuyasha and condense it to 7 episodes for the
Oh,
live
see,
action.
that's tough, right?
Yeah.
Like I understand where you can condense some of those, especially those older series got a little stretched. But I mean, if you wanted to condense down some Dragon Ball Z, it's not that hard, right? You don't need half an hour of guys
They
grunting
did
and
that
yelling.
in an official version.
But yeah, that's the hard part is when you're, especially live action, you're only going to do so many episodes, but there's a built-in fan base for something like that. So don't, that's fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line. Like, don't do that.
And Charles is flabbergasted if you haven't seen My Hero Academia.
Of course.
So, but I guess for those who are unfamiliar with it, My Hero Academia is a world where like 90, they gives the percentage a few different times. I can't remember what it is. It's like 85 or 90% of people around the world have an ability. They call them quirks.
Okay.
Um, and so, you know, people use it for their day-to-day jobs. The part of the problem though is, in order to actively use um your power, you have to have a license for it, usually a hero's license
Okay.
to use it day to day. And so, like, for instance, one of the characters, she has some gravity manipulation powers,
All right.
and she wants to become a hero to be able to use her powers to help with her family's construction business. Those gravity powers would come in pretty
Be
sweet
handy.
on at
Yeah.
a construction site. But just, you know, little things like that. And so using your powers outside of that can, depending on how you use it, can be, you could be breaking the law and be labeled a villain and go to jail.
Okay.
But the main character, he does not have a power, but he still wants to become a hero, and he's desperate to become a hero. And yeah, it's got a lot of heart. It's a lot of fun. And I really like the character growth that you see in not just the main character, but a lot of the side characters as well. They do a really good job of making you appreciate not just the heroes and the side characters, but also the villains. They make you care about a lot of the villains as well, not to the degree of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer really makes you feel
Okay.
sorry for a lot of the villains, but they help you sympathize with the plight of a lot of these villains. So yeah, there's a lot of anime out there that's just lacking in substance.
Mhm.
My Hero is not one of those. My Hero has a lot of character and substance and story to it. It's not quite as much depth as say Full Metal Alchemist, which is
Sure.
one of
Which is
my top tier
that's one I
anime.
watched. In fact,
Oh yeah.
when I watched Brotherhood, it threw me at first because I had watched the first series,
Yep.
and then I learned that like Brotherhood is a little closer to the original story and it doesn't diverge. And it took me a bit to adjust to that because that was one of those other ones that we watched a lot. Was
Yep. Yeah, well, because do you know why they've got two, right? You've heard the story behind that, or no?
I have, but remind me because it's been a little while.
So when they were making the first one, they caught up to the source material.
That's right.
And decided not to wait, and so they made up the rest of it.
Yep.
And so then years later, they came back and they kind of rushed through the beginning part of it until they got to the point where it would diverge.
Mhm.
And then they Brotherhood stayed more accurate to the source material.
Yeah. Okay. I remember reading about that. Yeah.
Both are good, but the original series does go a little wonky. And for anyone who does watch the original series, because I like them both, I've watched them both multiple times. Make sure you watch the movie that comes after the series for the original, because it while it does go weird, it, in my opinion, has a more satisfying ending than how the series itself left off. But yeah, it does go a bit weird.
I mean, a lot of them do, but you know that's part of the charm. That's what I like about it is you can get weird and really explore something. This was a fun moment. Not that long ago, I think it was when I saw The Long Walk in the theater, and I'm sitting in the theater, and one of the trailers ahead of it was for Chainsaw Man, the movie.
I still haven't seen that yet. It's on my list.
And I wasn't watching the trailer. I was too busy watching the middle-aged group of people sitting a row in front of me and to my left, because they had no clue what was happening. They were so lost. You know what it was? It was in front of Tron. I went and saw Tron Ares, and they just people didn't know what was happening, and it was amazing. And then one of their group had gone out to get like a refill on popcorn or use a restroom or something, so they came in right after that, and I hear them talking to him about it, and I was just like, oh. They were about to have a meltdown. They're like, I'm not going to see that one.
So for those who are unfamiliar, Chainsaw Man features a person with a chainsaw for a head.
Yeah, no, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Like, it is a man in a chainsaw and a chainsaw man. It's very Trogdor the Burninator.
I've heard it's really good. I just
I
haven't
have
gotten
too.
around to watching it.
Yeah.
I've watched some anime with some very strange premises before. So like one that I watched fairly recently, and actually it was season 2 of it, is one where a guy dies and is reincarnated in a fantasy world, but he's a vending machine.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
and
sure.
I watched it simply because I was like, how are they
right?
make
Yeah,
this?
no. That's when you read the 2 sentence and you're like, no, I got to know. I have to know how they're doing this.
And the premise is ridiculous, and it's not great, but it was entertaining enough that I watched both of the seasons.
Yeah,
it was okay, you know.
A for effort, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's not one that I'd be going around and be like, you gotta watch this,
right?
But it was all right. It was all right.